Coach, whenever you're ready.
A lot similar to Saturday's game. You know, I thought we started off a bit slow, but then we got ourselves going. We had some early turnovers, but after that, you know, game settled in, and just proud of the guys. It was a good effort. You know, I didn't think we played our A game, but you know, we did the things that we needed to do to win, and you know, we shared the ball. We rebounded. You know, the only negative that I feel like was on the game was that we gave up 14 offensive rebounds. You know, I was happy for Lance. You know, Lance had a great game, but he had his moment too. I always say that. You know, it's, a lot of times you can have a good game, but you know, on senior night he had his moment. I thought at the end of the last 4 minutes of the first half, I should say, you know, he made some big shots and, you know, really ignited us, and that's when we kind of took off and, you know, took over the game. And so I was just really happy for him. He did a great job. And, you know, gonna miss him, you know, the next time we play in this building. You know, won't have him on the team. That's gonna be a tough one. But, you know, Lance does it all, man. You know, he plays hard. He gives you 100% effort every time he's on the floor. So, you know, I was really happy for him. I thought Nate did a good job of controlling the game. You know, it's crazy, you know, because, you know, even when he doesn't score the ball, like for me, this is how I envisioned him playing. You know, I always felt he can score, but even when he wasn't scoring, you know, I felt like he could be a guy that can be right there, double-doubles anyway, you know, because when the ball is moving, everybody else is going to be successful. You know, Bai is kind of settling in, and, you know, now you just look at his game, and it's like, I thought he left stuff on the table, and then I look at his stat line, I'm like, he had 22 and 8, you know, and then Duncan, you know, for me, the best thing about Duncan, you know, his points and things weren't as loud today, but if you look at it, this has been pretty consistent to who he's been. And then he'll have a breakout game. So really happy for the guys. You know, so we just got to keep improving. We got to keep going forward. And, you know, I'm excited. You know, we were able to clinch a bye, you know, and get that Tuesday off, you know, which is huge in a lot of respects, especially for a team like ours. When we have so many injuries, we need that extra day. And, you know, look forward to, you know, seeing how we respond, you know, going up to Wake this weekend. You know, that should be a fun game, you know, and, you know, just really proud of the group, man. You know, we've been through a lot, and I don't think anybody, you know, not even really, you know, the people that have, you know, been around the program. You can come to practice, you can do different things, but if you haven't been there each and every day, you don't really know. And, you know, during the dark times and during the times when, you know, things were not going well, it would have been easy to waver. And, you know, nobody wavered. And so you seen baby steps, and then you started to see growth. And then you started to see them getting payback and wins, and then you started to see them get confident that they can win. And so it's just been, you know, I haven't seen a group grow that much from Christmas until the end of the year as much as this group has grown in that short period of time, and they've put themselves in position to me, do special things if they just continue to stay on that path.
Okay, questions?
For the second game in a row, it looked like Nate was having a good time out there moving the ball around, finding the open man, and not worrying about scoring.
Well, I don't, you know, I'll say this, and, you know, I don't know if it's that he's not looking to score, but what Nate's done a good job of during the last month is whatever the game gives him, he takes. And so, you know, he did a good job, again, of moving the ball. He didn't have it, and if it wasn't about him, he gave it up, and I thought he did a good job. He distributed it well. You know, 22, 16, 31, like, you know what I mean? Like that means the ball is moving around. You know, guys are getting a chance to play with it and touch it. It's when we play games and we don't have the same type of ball movement. That's when we struggle. I mean, it's always easy to tell when we struggle. You can just look at the stat line and you can just tell why we're struggling. But Nate did a good job of getting everybody involved. And then I do believe there's something to him trying to figure it out. And he's been logging a lot of minutes too now. So fatigue can play a factor. So he has to manage his minutes. He has to manage the team. And he has to understand how valuable he is as well. And so, that's why I try to, if I can, still 30 seconds here, 30 seconds there. It's not a whole lot of time, but it's sometimes. So, but he did a great job, though.
What does make Lance special in your eyes?
I think that he goes about his business, and for someone in college, that doesn't happen a whole lot. Guys like that get overlooked, so you tend to pay more attention to him when he's on your team. He reminds me of a throwback player, a guy that he's gonna dive on the ground. He's a two-way player, and he just does a lot of different things. I didn't obviously know Lance before I got here, and as you dig and you do your homework, Lance is he's like the epitome of today's portal kid. He just got the tech before the portal. They called it the portal. You know what I mean? But a kid that grew throughout college, and now he's an older player. And he's seasoned and he's been through a whole lot, and he plays like it as well. But, just the uniqueness and his superpowers that he plays so hard, and he's capable of impacting the game on either end of the floor.
How do you feel about this team? I know, like you said, you've been through a lot, to start the year and then first half of the ACC schedule. How do you feel like this team's going? How confident are you can make a run next week? Obviously, Wake Forest first Saturday, but how confident are you this team can be a team that the team don't want to play in the ACC tournament?
Well, I think we just have to stay the course. I'm one that I try to kind of set the expectation for our team and not let people on the outside set the expectation, because I think that when expectation emerges in the locker room, so to speak, it has to emerge from them. And so nobody can put expectation on them, at least not for me. And I think I feel like we can do special things. I feel like I'm rubbing off on these guys and their mindset and the way they're thinking. But I need to see a little more, before I start to put something in the universe that I don't know if we're ready for yet, if that makes sense. I just don't. I like where we at. I'm from the old school, and when you from the old school, once you start talking and people listening, hey man, you got to perform. Period. There ain't. I'm not for publicity and you can't perform. You got to perform. And that's just kind of how it is, And so I always try to protect my players in that manner. And I think right now for me, their play is letting everybody else do the talking. And I think that's how we just need to continue to do that.
I'm curious, talking about the progression coming from Christmas to now, just where would you assess the maturity of this team going into the more stressful part of the year with the tournament? What I saw when y'all got up to 18, 20-point lead, it didn't seem like the offense changed at all. They just kept throttling the way they were supposed to be throttling, not making bad decisions with passing and shot selection and stuff like that. Does that resemble what you expect from them right now?
Yeah, we resemble a team, to me, that's capable of doing really good things. We're consistent with what we do. When there's not so many peaks and valleys, and I think now, we can throw off or we can be average at times, but then we could take it up. It's not, again, not as many peaks and valleys, and that's what I think you've seen. It's, a lot of people won't understand, but if you've been around our group, you would understand. Like, these last 2 games for me have been great because these are games that we've struggled in, and I think that we handled our business and we matured from that standpoint, and our approach was the right way. And I think that's why you're seeing growth and maturity with this group. And I think that it started, again, back at Christmas. You know what I mean? And, it's been an evolving process each and every day. And this is the point where we're at right now. And, it gets to the point where what'll happen is now, even though we can't get them back, I'm pretty sure, because a couple of the guys have said to me, well, Coach, if we would have did this earlier, I said, we can't get it back though now. But those are the things that, that's what happens when you start having success. And, when you have success, you won't take those moments for granted, so.
Time for a couple more.
Offensively, I don't think you can really expect Bai to do all the work down low. And it seems during this winning streak, you have a couple of guys that are known for their three-point shooting in Terry and Powell. They've taken advantage of guys coming out after him and driving that baseline and really exploding and making those easy hoops underneath for you.
Yeah, no, they, Duncan, Lance, they can attack a closeout really well. And obviously their shooting sets that up. So, the thing about it is, to me, inside scoring is just paint touches. Just kind of to go with what you're saying. It's not a matter of posting up. It's just touching the paint. That's what we got to do, and we've done a great job of getting the ball in the paint, whether it's by, the pass or whether it's off the bounce. We've done a great job of that.
Duncan is the kind of guy who would seem to relish the assignment of Matthew Cleveland. Does that kind of thing spread when you got a guy like that who savors a challenge like that? Yeah,
Duncan, he wanted to guard Cleveland, and I thought that he did a decent job. Matthew Cleveland pretty damn good, but like I told Duncan, it's not, for me, it's a collective effort of us trying to stop one person. I think that's where we've gotten really good defensively, is that we haven't, allowed people to play one-on-one against us. We've done different things. We've doubled the post. We've doubled guards. And so it's kind of changed our defensive principles. I changed our defensive principles, But, Duncan, he's the type of guy that does take on the challenge. I mean, whether it was, Matthew Cleveland or, whoever it is, he wants that challenge. And, it's always good to have someone like that on your squad.
Okay. Anything else? Thank you, Coach.
All right.